Hey guys, this is J-Mac. This is Raid Shadow Legends, and today I want to share one of my faction crypt teams, and I'm in the Ogryn faction crypt, and this is the very last level, and the team I put together, and this is not a 100% team by any means. Fighting these bosses in these dungeons, there's a lot of RNG when you don't have just some, amazing superheroic team put together. But I tried to do this without having to take, as many champions to 60, as I could. And I was able to get by with this team right here. So in the lead, I've got Grush. He is a free champion. I've got his aura, increases ally defense and faction crits by 30%. I've got Belor, who is set up to be my campaign farmer. Um, I could probably do a little work on him as far as getting his HP up a little bit higher to do better on these runs, but I'll go through all my builds here in a second. I got Ugo, and this whole run revolves around her because when I get to the end, my whole team is going to die, and she's going to revive everybody, maybe twice during the fight. I've got the Occult Brawler, which he has some pretty unique skills with what he throws down, and then I've got Claude Beast Feeder, and he has a really cool heal on his passive. So let me show you what I'm working with. And it's not much. These champions could all be built so much better. Obviously, you put better gear on them, go masteries, they're gonna do so much more. So Ugo, for her, I have her in mainly for her passive. Um, I'm sorry, not her passive. Right here, her A3. So her A3 removes all heal reduction debuffs from all allies. That's not game changing, but that's kind of cool little cleanse to have. Mini cleanse, I guess. Then removes one random buff from all allies, then heals all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP. But that's not the main part. This is the main part. If all allies are dead, revives them with 50% HP, then fills their turn meters by 50% instead. So, as long as you keep her the last lady standing, she's going to revive your whole team. Now, her passive is helps with that. Places 30% increased speed and a block damage buff on her for one turn whenever this champion's last living ally is killed. So everybody goes down. She gets a block damage, increased speed, brings everybody back up. Her A1 can put a leech, and then her A2 can do a decreased defense and a block buffs. And that block buffs comes in super handy, clearing waves and doing some of the ads. I do have a blessing on her, and I haven't spent a lot of time going into blessings. They're probably a better one for her, but I just did this one. Adds an extra 5% chance of removing debuffs and does plus 300 on the defense. I was thinking more of just trying to keep her alive because I know she's useful in other areas of the game, but this is what I use her for. Um, for the artifact sets, I did some accuracy with perception just to try to help get the debuffs to land, and resilience, a little bit of HP and defense. I think I got speed boots, some HP, more HP. So I think that's why I went on her blessing to add more defense because I had 2 HP main stats on her. And I just picked up more HP and some more accuracy where I could. I've got 70k on the HP, which that helps having the gloves and chest, both HP percentage. Uh, Almost 3k in the defense, and then the accuracy 325. I would love to have more speed. I could probably really go through and build these a lot better, but since I was able to beat the boss with this setup, I really don't want to spend time changing stuff, and I hate swapping gear around. That's probably one of the things I hate more about this game than anything else is I would love to do a lot of different builds and try different things out, but it costs so much stinking silver at times, and it's just kind of aggravates me. Let's see, who else do I have on this team? Okay, the Occult Brawler. I got him set up, a lot of accuracy. His A1 can place a poison. I only have a couple of books. Ugo I did have fully booked. Um, this is kind of what makes this dude a little weird is the if he's under debuffs. So, sorry, I'm having to jump around here. So his passive places a poison debuff on his champion for 4 turns at the start of each turn, and then has a 70% chance placing poison debuff on a random enemy for 4 turns at the start of each turn. So that's really cool and weird. He's throwing out poisons, but then he's poisoning himself. And the reason why he poisons himself is this right here. Depending on how many debuffs he has, depends on what he does. And I like this right here. If the champion's under 4 or more debuffs, this champion heals by 30% of damage inflicted. If this champion's under 5 or more debuffs, grants an extra turn. Removes all debuffs from this champion after the attack. So each debuff he gets, he does these different things. I don't have him set up as like a huge damage dealer. I've mainly got him just because he can start placing a lot of poisons, and that helps that boss fight. And plus, he was one of the only Ogryns I had at the time that I thought was really worth trying to level up. I also have Grush. You get him as a free champion. He's got some pretty cool skills too. His A1 can do a leech. Damage is based off defense, so he's easy to build. The A2, decreased attack, decreased crit damage. That helps, I think, on the end fight. Maybe not just a ton so much, clearing waves, but it is an AoE. And then what I like is his A3 here. Attacks all enemies, then places continuous heal buffs on all allies for 2 turns, and then places an additional continuous heal, the smaller one, on all allies for 1 turn if at least 1 enemy is hit with a critical hit. So I built him with crit damage, 100% crit rate. That way I always get that extra continuous heal. I also put him in stun because his A2 and the A3 is an AoE. And he does get some stuns off with that A1. He has no masteries on him. And I need to jump back up. Cult Brawler has no masteries. Now, Ugo, I do believe I have masteries on her. If I could find her, there she is. No, I have no masteries on her either. So, you don't have to invest tons. Again, she's fully leveled. And then, Claude, I have no masteries on him. For his skills, this is nothing huge here. Decreased crit rate on the A1, a one-hitter. Places a shield, which is okay if I really worked and got everybody's HP up better. That shield would be a lot better. He does have an increased speed buff and increased accuracy. And then he has this cool passive where he heals ally at the lowest HP by 10% of their max HP at the start of this champion's turn. So most faction crypts, you're going to run into problems with finding healers to have, unless you get a straight pure healer on a pull. And then Belor is probably my best built, but he's built for attack. His HP's low at 32k. But I've got his attack high. His speed's the best out of any of them at above 200. And I've got him with crit rate, crit damage, accuracy, because his debuffs are amazing. I use him as my farmer. So I do my 7-8 second farm runs on doing the dungeons with him. I've got him in speed and perception. What makes him unique and awesome for a rare, every hit is an AoE. So an AoE with a block active skills, which is huge. AoE decreased speed, which is huge. And then he has the small decreased attack and decreased defense, which I think, it probably really put him overpowered if those were the big ones. But anyway, he's got some really cool things going on. And I put him on the Phantom Touch, has a chance of inflicting bonus damage whenever he hits enemy targets. I think I also had an Awakening on Grush, but I was able to beat this before the Awakenings came out. So the Awakenings definitely help, but this is still doable. I do have him fully booked. I know that was just a real quick run through. You could probably really get better in depth on what those champions bring. But I just mainly wanted to show that they are in amazing gear. And I've got 2 of them at level 50. I do think it helps having Grush in stun gear. Bellower, if I built him out, I would probably put him in stun gear just because every hit he has is an AoE, and so you got a better chance of getting, a lot of stuns off. But I didn't want to mess with him, and I didn't want to really, like I said, go too in depth and put my best gear on these guys. If this was the last crypt that I had to do, I probably would go all out, build them up best I could, and then see what I could do. But since I still got a few more crypts to go, I don't feel that need or urgency to just invest, tons of silver, switching out gear and leveling up gear and try to get, amazing things on them. All right, so my first run was a WAP, so let's get back into it. That is one thing that I have learned about this game. If you get close, don't give up because there's a few things that I've tried 4, 5, 6, 10 times, and finally on that 10th try, I was able to beat it, do whatever I was trying to do. And so when you have a team that you don't have built up to the best that they can possibly be, uh, and fights that are based on RNG, you're going to have a few bad RNG runs. It's just part of it. And that I usually just auto the start until I see some big damage getting done. It's probably smarter to kind of get ahead of it a little bit. But the biggest part with this team and this run is just keeping everybody alive until the boss. The good thing is I don't really have any big, huge special abilities that, change the fight. And so it's not like I have to have that one certain skill up to really get an edge on the fight. I just want to get to the boss with everybody alive. And I do know that with this fight, I want Paragon and that healer out first. So I'm going to keep plugging away at Paragon here. I don't want to use that yet. So this is not a big speed run by any means. Again, I just want to keep everybody alive so that I can get to the boss, and then hopefully my Ugo tactic works. The RNG that comes with this fight is two things. Is I've got a tactic where I'm relying on everybody to die and then have Ugo revive. So Ugo has to be the last champion standing. And that can kind of get tricky if you're not paying attention to your hits, because every time you hit the boss, you get an HP burn. And then the other thing that you have to deal with is the boss fears. And so if you get fear put on you, your skill may not happen. So what I've had problems with is Ugo being feared and then her not being able to revive everybody. And then I'll WAP. So I could probably, work on resistance and all that stuff, but I'm very stubborn, especially when it comes to video games. And I think to myself, I did it once, I can do it again. Probably not the best tactic to approach, but it's what I do. And I enjoy it because it's so cool to be able to, do it again and know that you did it. So, as you can see, everybody got feared right there. And so it's just kind of, like I said, an RNG game on this fight. I am going to work on taking the ads out. And then I'm going to come back when either I've got something going on with Queen. Probably what's going to happen is I should be able to get both the ads down, and then really close to that after that, everybody's going to die, and then I will have Ugo revive everybody. So I'll check back just here in a little bit once I get these ads down. So I'll be right back. All right, so I've got both ads down. I've got Ugo and Claude left. So here is the problem I've had before. Claude does that little heal right there. I think Ugo gets a little bigger shield. I've got to try to get Claude dead before Ugo. And the problem is those HP burns can eat away. But if the boss keeps hitting Claude like that, I should be in the clear. So then once Claude goes down, hopefully Ugo isn't feared. Alright, fear went away. Now Ugo should revive everybody. And I've got a full crew back. Now if I can keep everybody alive for a little while. Or Ugo may just do this again. I did have one fight where I had like maybe 5-ish% left. And everybody died except Ugo. So she got everybody back up. And it was an easy win. So Grush, like I said, he is a really cool champion. I think underrated. I don't think he's anybody you're going to be taking the clan boss or some Doom Tower bosses, but without having a true pure healer on this team, all these little heals that I get from these other champions really are awesome because Grush has the continuous heal. Claude, he does the self heal and then or the 10% of whatever champion max HP on the I think on the lowest HP champion at the start of every turn, and just all those little things really start to add up. So far everything is looking okay. Except I've got Ugo super low, so I either have to do enough damage that I kill the queen or whatever that thing is called, the red queen, red boss. I've either got to kill her before Ugo dies, or I've got to try to get everybody dead. So here's what I have to be careful with, because I don't want a cult brawler to use his A2 and get a heal. And then, so I just want him to take damage from the poisons and hopefully trying to get a HP burn debuff. Again, I just want to use his A1. Because I messed up one fight and I used his A2 and he healed and then he had more HP than Ugo and he ended up being the last one standing and he doesn't have an awesome revive. Yes. Alright, so I had to wipe the first time. As you can see, Belor, he is my attacker. So the longer I keep him alive, the better. Again, I could do a lot of gear switching around. I could bump his HP up. I could probably just find a little bit better gear to put on some of these guys, and they would be a lot more effective. But Grush, with those continuous heals, he's the main healer in the group. Ugo just has her big heal from the revive. But you can see, Claude adds a little bit there. I feel like every champion here has their own little niche spot. Claude and the Cult and Grush for that fact. They're probably going to help out in some Doom Tower rooms as well. But I just thought it was cool that I was able to beat this stage with Belor as my rare, having him in attack mode, having a couple of 50s on here, but just having the star of the show, Ugo, keeping her alive. And again, I could probably really work on her and get so much more HP and defense on her that she survives better and more reliable, and maybe get her resist up where she doesn't get feared as easy. But this was the team I used. I was super excited the first time that I beat the boss on this. So I'm getting closer on my faction wars. Let's see. I've got a lot of work to do here. I think on the Skinwalker, once I get Mighty Uko, that's going to help me. I've gotten really, really close on this Undead Horde. It's just getting the amount of damage. Ogryn Crypt, I'm either going to have to pull somebody really, really good, or I'm going to have to do, a full gear swap with lifesteal gear or something like that to beat it. So I've got those 3 left. I'm done pretty good on these. I've got Shadowkin. I've got, I think it's Hotatsu, who can do a little bit of a heal, and I may have to bump him up to 60. My Dwarf Crypt, I could probably put everybody in lifesteal gear and beat it. Banner Lords, I can't remember what I'm lacking there, but I'm getting closer to Lydia. Still got a little bit of ways to go, and it's either going to cost me a lot in silver and gear swapping and, getting gear leveled up, which I could probably just level up a few sets of lifesteal gear and swap them between everybody and do okay. But anyway, it's been kind of fun just kind of slowly going at this and waiting to see what champions I got and how big of an impact they made on going up the levels in these crypts. But anyway, I just wanted to share that team with you. I know I didn't go huge in depth on each champion as to what to do and what masteries or blessings are going to work better. Just mainly because I think Bella was the only one I got masteries on. But it's just kind of cool that you can build champions that are not legendary. You don't have to put the greatest god gear in them. You don't have to spend time on masteries to beat some of this stuff. So I hope this helps somebody out there. If you use any of these champions in other parts of the game, please let me know. I'm sure there's something I'm missing on a Doom Tower room that they're just amazing and they're what help you clear that room every single time it comes up. But I just want to share it. Again, I hope it helps somebody out there. But if you would subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope you all have a very blessed night. Bye.